Hi, English learners. Welcome back to our podcast. It's great to have you here for our second episode of 2025. I'm James.
And I'm Emily. Thanks for joining us again. We're excited to continue learning and improving our English together this year.
Emily, how's your new year going so far?
It's off to a great start. James, you mentioned your plan to take up running and improve your diet last time. How's that going so far?
I'm happy to say it's been going well. Running has become a regular part of my routine, and I've been eating healthier too. It's definitely helping me stay focused on my health.
That's great to hear, James. And today's lesson is all about New Year's resolutions. And as we mentioned last time, I'll be sharing my New Year's resolution later in this lesson. So stay tuned, guys.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing it, Emily, and I'm sure our listeners are excited to find out what it is too. But before we dive into today's dialogue, let me explain what a New Year's resolution actually is.
All right, James, we're all ears.
Okay, a New Year's resolution is a goal or promise that people make to themselves at the start of the year, often to improve their habits or achieve something meaningful. It's a tradition that helps set a positive tone for the year ahead. For example, people might resolve to exercise more, learn a new skill, or spend more time with family.
Exactly. Thank you, James. It's all about starting fresh and striving for self-improvement. And since New Year's resolutions are so popular, today's episode will give you the tools to talk about them confidently in English.
All right, now let's jump into the dialogue for the first time.
After the dialogue, we'll explain some useful expressions.
So, did I tell you about my New Year's resolution? I've decided to go on a diet.
And you're going to completely transform your eating habits, right?
Exactly. I'm gonna cut out all the junk I eat. No more chips, no more soda, no more fried food.
Uh-huh. I've heard this one before.
But this time, I'm going to stick to it. I really mean it. Trust me, Carol, I'm gonna be a new man in 1 year's time.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Thanks, honey. That was a great meal. I'm stuffed. Do we have any chips left?
That was such a relatable dialogue. We've all been there, right? Making big resolutions and then facing temptation right away. You really have to overcome those temptations to stick to your goals.
Yeah, that's true.
So far, I've been doing okay though.
Staying on track is always the hardest part, but it sounds like you're off to a solid start. Keep it up, James. And now, let's take a closer look at some of the key phrases from the dialogue and how they can be used in real-life situations.
Sounds good. These phrases are not only practical but also easy to incorporate into daily conversations. Emily, what's the first phrase?
The first phrase is go on a diet.
Go on a diet.
Go on a diet.
Go on a diet means to start eating specific types of food, usually to lose weight or improve health. For example, after the holidays, I decided to go on a diet to get back in shape.
Right. It's a very common phrase, especially when people want to reset their diets. People often use it when they feel like they've overindulged during the holidays and want to start fresh. It's not just about losing weight. It can also be about improving overall health and well-being.
All right, the next phrase is cut out.
Cut out.
Cut out.
Cut out means to stop doing or consuming something completely. For example, I've decided to cut out sugar from my diet. It can apply to various things, not just food. For instance, she decided to cut out unnecessary expenses to save more money.
It's a straightforward and useful way to talk about eliminating bad habits or unhealthy foods. You'll hear it often in conversations about lifestyle changes, and it's great for expressing clear intentions.
Exactly. And now, let's talk about stick to it.
Stick to it.
Stick to it.
This phrase means to remain committed to a decision or plan. For instance, even when it's hard, you need to stick to your goals. It's about showing perseverance and determination, even when the situation becomes challenging.
It's a great expression for motivation and staying on track. You can use it to encourage yourself or others to keep going and not give up, especially when working toward a long-term goal.
Exactly. And now, let's listen to the dialogue again.
Pay attention to how these phrases are used.
So, did I tell you about my New Year's resolution? I've decided to go on a diet.
And you're going to completely transform your eating habits, right?
Exactly. I'm gonna cut out all the junk I eat. No more chips, no more soda, no more fried food.
Uh-huh. I've heard this one before.
But this time, I'm going to stick to it. I really mean it. Trust me, Carol, I'm gonna be a new man in 1 year's time.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Thanks, honey. That was a great meal. I'm stuffed. Do we have any chips left?
Okay, we're back. This time, I think everyone can follow the flow more smoothly and grasp how each expression is used.
Definitely. Now, let's look at a few more key phrases. What's the next phrase, James?
Next up is transform your eating habits.
Transform your eating habits.
Transform your eating habits. First, the word transform means to make a significant change in something, often improving it or giving it a completely new form. For example, he transformed his small backyard into a beautiful garden.
Exactly. And eating habits refers to the regular patterns or routines in how a person eats, such as what, when, and how much they usually consume. For instance, her eating habits include having 3 balanced meals a day.
So, when we say transform your eating habits, it means to make a significant change in the way you eat, usually to adopt healthier routines.
All right, now that we understand the meaning of transform your eating habits, let's move on to the next phrase.
Okay, the next one is I mean it.
I mean it.
I mean it.
This phrase is used to emphasize sincerity or seriousness about what you've said. It shows that the speaker truly means what they are saying, without any doubt or joking.
Right. It's often used to reinforce that you're not joking or exaggerating. It adds weight to your statement, making it clear that you are being completely serious and committed to your words.
All right, now let's take a look at our last phrase, I'm stuffed.
I'm stuffed.
I'm stuffed. This is a casual way to say you're very full after eating. It's often used after a big meal to express that you've eaten more than enough and feel satisfied.
It's a handy phrase for everyday conversations about food. You'll often hear it in informal settings like family dinners or outings with friends, when people want to share how much they've enjoyed their meal.
All right, now that we've covered all the key phrases, let's listen to the dialogue one last time.
Listen carefully to how these expressions are used in context and think about how you can apply them in your own conversations.
So, did I tell you about my New Year's resolution? I've decided to go on a diet.
And you're going to completely transform your eating habits, right?
Exactly. I'm gonna cut out all the junk I eat. No more chips, no more soda, no more fried food.
Uh-huh. I've heard this one before.
But this time, I'm going to stick to it. I really mean it. Trust me, Carol, I'm gonna be a new man in 1 year's time.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Thanks, honey. That was a great meal. I'm stuffed. Do we have any chips left?
Okay, Emily, the moment we've all been waiting for. What's your New Year's resolution this year?
Thanks for asking, James. My resolution this year is to take up a new hobby, learning photography. I've always admired people who can capture beautiful moments with their cameras, so I want to learn how to take great photos myself.
That's fantastic, Emily. Photography is such a creative and rewarding skill, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun exploring it. I've always thought it's amazing how a single photo can tell a whole story.
Absolutely. Plus, I think it'll be a fun challenge to find interesting subjects and practice in different settings. It might take some time to get the hang of it, but I'm excited to learn. Maybe I'll take a great picture of you next time.
I'll hold you to that, Emily. I'm sure our listeners are inspired to set their own resolutions, too.
I hope so. And who knows, I might even share some of my progress and favorite photos in our future episodes.
That sounds great. I'll also keep you updated on how my running and healthy eating are going. Maybe we can even compare notes on how we're sticking to our resolutions.
All right, guys, that's it for today.
We hope today's phrases help you talk about your resolutions in English. Remember to practice them whenever you can.
And don't forget to share your stories about sticking to your resolutions. We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for listening, and see you next time.
Bye.